And this is the last thing I definitely want to go over, is the hard conversations, and I'm going to get through these as quickly as possible. Sex, drugs, and alcohol. The big ones, the ones that I am now an educator for. I go into public schools talking to young people about how to have healthy relationships, how to avoid sex, drugs, and alcohol, what STDs do to them, how it impacts them physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, all that. And this is what I do now. And now what I'm doing is I'm trying to help the parents really get prepared for this. Number one, be involved in your child's life. You've got to be involved in their life, okay? Oh, this is going to set the foundation. My animations are weird. So, this is going to set the foundation. Be involved in your child's life. Ask questions. Have them share about their day. Easy as that, because you know what? I think that a majority of you in this room do this, but this is where the kicker is. Let your child be a part of your life. Share about your day. Have conversations about what it was like when you were younger. Let me tell you, my father has a brother who died of alcohol poisoning. He didn't have a very positive or good relationship with his father. My mom has stories about being the shadow of her older sister and how that impacted her. But we still talk about it. All right, I was just talking with my nephew, and he says, I know nothing about my father. I know nothing about my father. And you know, my mom asked, it was me, my mom, and my cousin, not my nephew. My brother's 33 and he still hasn't popped out a kid. I was excited when I was 11 to be the youngest uncle in history. And here it is, 12 years later, and I'm still nephew and nieceless. So, no, my cousin. It was my cousin, my mom, and myself. And my mom said, do you want to know your father? He's like, well, yeah. They just want to know you. They truly do. They want to know who you are. They want to know that you guys were kids. They want to know that you were kids. Because they see you guys as just this adult that's supposed to be like this, you know, everything is okay because I'm with my parents. They need to know that you had concerns. They need to know, especially for the guys. Especially for the guys in this room, the fathers in this room. They need to know that you have emotions. They need to know that you have emotions. Especially your sons. I think it was very beneficial for me when my father shared his emotions about not having a real positive relationship with his father, my grandfather. It was so important for me to hear that my dad was frustrated, pissed, angry, sad, depressed, that he didn't have a positive relationship with his father, because I was like, my dad has emotion. Oh my gosh, I can feel emotion. Because I validated it. When I hear it from a guy, from an older adult, my male role model, that I can have emotion, I can feel emotion, then I said to myself, I can feel emotion too, and I can share it. And I can share it. That's why it's so important. And this is how you're going to do it. Use current events to spark dialogue. You guys see the news. You guys have newsletters that may come home from school. You talk to your kids and they say, hey, Johnny came to school with weed. That is your opportunity to spark dialogue with your kids about sex, drugs, and alcohol. Ask them questions like, what do you think about that? What do you think the consequence that they're facing is fair? You know, they brought weed to school. They're going to get suspended. Do you think that's fair? They better say yes. But you ask them those questions, because you need to know. Share what you think. It's okay. You can share what you think, but you need to know what they think too. They need to know what they think before they know what you think, and understand how your child feels. Ask questions to encourage independent thinking, because at this stage in life, even at 23 years old, I'm 23, we have what we feel is right or wrong when it comes to sex, drugs, and alcohol. We have in our hearts what we think is right and wrong. We need to hear what they think and guide them into that kind of belief that, you know, drugs and alcohol, you know, this is what I hope that you believe, but we need to hear it from them first, as opposed to saying, this is what you will think, because then they'll want to do the exact opposite. So hear what they want to, so hear what they think first. So, just to recap, teaching, listening, communicating. Front seat is modeling and teaching your children. Back seat is focusing on being a great listener rather than a great talker. And communicating is talking to your children like adults and have a fun, loving, and constructive conversation with them. Now, I think the only thing that I have left, if there are any questions, I know that it's 9:05, so right now, if there are no questions, if you have no questions personally, there is an evaluation sheet at the very end of that packet that you have. I would love to have some feedback. The first thing that I would like for you to do is to look at the wonderful lady over here in the black hair and the awesomeness all up in your face. That is my mom. And And so just to tell you, my mom...